What devolution will mean to the people of Aycliffe is the ability to say to the government, give the North East some more powers and some more resources that are presently exercised in Whitehall. That could be a lot of money and a lot of power over things like skills, education, transport, planning, that kind of thing. And that extra money will have to be looked after somehow. So the government have decided not to necessarily give the money straight to local government, but to have an elected mayor, one person, man or woman, being given the money and the powers to spend here in the North East, in Aycliffe, in Durham, in Sunderland, and that is the deal that the North East Combined Authority is seeking from the government. And negotiations are now underway because the North East Combined Authority has sent its proposals to budget and to government, and hopefully they'll be announced around budget time.
Well, devolution is important as long as we get the right deal. You know, we want local people and the local authorities to have a say in what is the best way of spending money in their area. But what I don't want to see is the government using this as an excuse to pass on responsibility for the cuts that they're implementing to local authorities and to a potentially elected mayor. So therefore it no longer becomes their responsibility. The government's responsibility, that is, it becomes the responsibility of others. So what could find out is that it is local authorities and it is potentially a local elected mayor for the region who are implementing the cuts. So they get their blame for it rather than the government who are actually coming up with the policies.
In the North East we have the Combined Authority which runs from Durham to Northumberland, which covers 7 local authorities including the whole of Tyne and Wear, and there's also a Combined Authority for the 5 Tees Valley authorities from Darlington across to Redcar and Cleveland. There are separate bids going on, but I think it's important to say that we're talking to each other to make sure that those bids are aligned, that we're talking about the same sorts of areas of the economy, transport and so on, so that we're working together and not separately.
Could it realistically affect places like Newton Aycliffe?
Well, it will affect Newton Aycliffe for the better if we can, for example, get improvements in the A66, or we can get extra funding to further develop the industrial estate. Both of these things are things being talked about in the current devolution deal. Ultimately, if we bring more jobs here, which is what we're aiming to do, that also will have big benefits for local people. So sometimes it sounds like we're talking in very general terms here about a sort of transfers of influence and responsibilities and finance funding, but it will be for people's benefit in the long term.